What's good? This is your girl, I am the Bronze Goddess, and it's time for another strawberry letter. Let's go get 'em. So I met this dude at a party right after me and my ex-boyfriend broke up in April of 2013. We exchanged numbers and started texting. Soon he asked me out on a date. I told him no because I wasn't over my ex yet and that I needed some time. He said okay, and he didn't text me for a while, but soon after that he asked me out again. I rejected him again. A couple weeks later, he texted me after I had a really bad day. That day, I was really depressed for a couple of reasons. I told him I wasn't feeling good at all. He told me to let it go and let go of the past and to move on with him. He said he promised that things will get better. Well, some days later, he asked me to hang out with him. And I said, okay, it's just a date. So I drove to his place and we spent a beautiful Saturday afternoon together. We spent it outside and we had a really good time. We are now dating for around 3 months now. I slept over his house 3 times already because he lives an hour away and I didn't want to drive back home late at night. We already kissed, but I knew he wanted more than that. I told him I wasn't ready for that yet and he said, okay. I wanted to be sure that he was interested in me and not my body. I'm gonna get you. So anyway, last weekend, he invited me to a party at his house. I came over a few hours early so we can spend some time alone before the guests arrive. Super long, so I'm gonna have to summarize it from right here. So she came over before the guests arrived, and when she did, they did eventually have sex. So they had the party, and the people at the party acted like they didn't want to leave. So, people were hanging out, acting like they were falling asleep on the couch, and, she really just, it's not her party, so she couldn't kick anybody out. On her way to the bathroom, she walks by this man's room, and he has not one, but 2 women in the bed with him. One is asleep next to him, and the other one is watching TV. And when she saw this, she slammed the bathroom door because she was angry that they had just had this moment before everybody came, and here he is in bed with 2 women. So she apologizes to him for her behavior because he gets upset with her and everything. And why are you slamming the door? What's going on with you? He says to her, and I quote, "We just cool. We just kicking it. I'm not ready for a relationship yet." And she's saying to me, I don't know what all this is coming from. We've been together for 3 months now. That's not what he was saying in the beginning. Blah, blah, blah. Okay? That's why I wanted to do your letter. I wanted to do your letter because a lot of women who are your age fall for this same trap. If a man does not actually take the time to commit and say that you're in a relationship, most of the time you're not. I don't care how well you guys get along, how many things you guys do together, if he spent money on you. If there was never a conversation about, I'm your girlfriend, we are exclusive, we're not dating other people, it's just you and I. If there was never a mutual decision to enter a relationship, there is none. And I think a lot of people fall for these falsities and fairy tales and believe that just because you get along really well with the guy that you're in a relationship. So here you are thinking that you have been dating for 3 months and now he's just saying, what you talking about? We dating? No, we just cool. All that, those 3 months, that was the time that he invested to get in your pants. And I hate to be so blunt, but it is what it is. And I want my younger viewers, my 20-something-year-old subbies to get that this is a part of a man's game. Not every man is going to be so upfront and open about wanting to sleep with you. Some of them are very patient, especially when he has more than one conquest going at the same time. He can wait on you. He can wait 2, 3, 4 months on you to finally have sex with him. And I think that's what happened here. I bet if you had asked one of those 2 women that he was in the bed with, which one of them he was pursuing, I don't know if both of them or one of them, there has to be something to that. That's his game. His game is that he's very patient. And I feel sorry for you because you fell for it. You knew better. I felt like you kind of resisted in the beginning. You kept telling him, I'm not over my ex. I'm not ready. But he wore you down. He wore you down. And in a moment of weakness, you gave in. And now you feel bad for it. You said he even invited you to go with him to Paris. That's all talk. That is talk. That is game. And a lot of women get got with that same line, with that same game. Just because a guy is nice to you doesn't mean he wants to be with you. And let me also say this. If you continue to sleep with this guy and not really talk about relationship, that relationship will go on. And I wanted to say that because I feel like a lot of times, just because you're getting along well with the man that you're sleeping with doesn't mean that you're in a relationship. That means that he likes what he's getting. And he's not stupid enough to say something or do something that will stop the gravy train, if you understand what I'm saying. And a lot of times people are in this relationship when they're just kicking it, which means that they're just involved in a sexual relationship with a man. You think that it's more than what it is because you get along so well. But that doesn't make him your man. That makes him someone who enjoys sleeping with you. I want to be blunt and I want to be frank because too many of you who are watching me are young and you don't have a big sister or a cool auntie who will spill this tea. Okay? If you have not had a serious conversation with this man about exclusivity, about being in a relationship, a true commitment, then you are not in a relationship. Whatever you think this is, it's not sexy. Okay. And I know from a distance, it's like, oh, we kicked it. We had a beautiful Saturday afternoon together and he's this and he's that. He's still not your man. And I think that this is a really tough lesson, but it's a lesson that you had to learn. You have to learn that, just because a guy tells you something does not mean he actually means it. Forget what a man says. What does he do? And this is an actions speak louder than words type situation. I'm sure that a lot of my subscribers, especially my older ones, will chime in below in the comment section. This is game. If this is not one of the most textbook, clear-cut instances of game that I have ever seen, that's what it is. Oh, your man did you wrong, girl? That's a shame, girl. Girl, your man did you wrong, girl? I would never do you like that. Girl, if you was my girl, I would treat you like a queen. If you give me a chance, he told you to move on with him. Like, girl, he saw the writing on the wall. When you are fresh out of a relationship, you're very vulnerable. You want to feel wanted. You want to feel needed. And some men prey on that. He knew that his game would work on you because your defenses weren't all the way up. It's like if you're sick and let's say you have the flu and you're barely over the flu and somebody else is sick and they're right next to you. It's easier for you to get sick again because you never really healed. It's the same thing with this relationship in your heart. You weren't completely healed enough to be exposed to men again. You weren't. What you should have done was take some time off. Take yourself 2-3 months off or however long it took you for you to get over that hurt and that pain that you felt from your breakup and then go out. But when you do these things, you fall for this type of situation. You were vulnerable. He played on your vulnerability and he took advantage of you, but it's not over for you. What I suggest that you do is take some time off. Don't let people just keep doing you like this. Okay. Now that you have seen what happens when you rush into things, take your time now. Now I suggest you take some months off, date yourself. That's one of the things that a lot of people never want to do. Take some time and date yourself. Realize what you want, what you don't want, and don't lower your standards. Don't let anybody rush you. Don't let anybody pressure you or be overly aggressive. I think that's what happened. He caught you in a moment of weakness and he took advantage of you. But you can change how you handle the situation and do something different. If you don't like how your life is going, do something to change it. I say take some time off from the dating scene, date casually, or just, spend some time on your own, being single. There's nothing wrong with being single. Being alone doesn't equal lonely. It just means that you're alone, that you're currently unattached. Enjoy your singleness. You don't have to be with a man to be complete. I talked about that before. So I suggest that you just take your time, enjoy your singleness, and forgive yourself. You made a mistake. A lot of people have made mistakes that you have made. You fell for his game, but do not continue a relationship with him. Because if you do, all he's going to do is expect sex from you. Because just kicking it is guy code for this is just sex. He don't want to say it like that, but that's what this is. Kicking it and we cool and we friends. That's all code for this is just sex. What you think this was? You're thinking it's more than it is because women have an issue sometimes with fantasizing and romanticizing relationships into being sexier than they really are. There's nothing sexy about what happened here. He played you. To be honest and to be blunt, he played you. But don't let anybody play you like that again. Date yourself, take some time off from the dating scene, and never let anybody pressure you into doing anything that you don't want to do. Enjoy your singleness and embrace it. Anyway, I love you. I hope you guys comment below. Just let her know. She is not the first person to fall for something like this. So I'll let her know below that she's not crazy. She's not silly. She's not any of those things. She just was caught in a moment of weakness by somebody who had no problem preying on that. Now they just kicking it. Soon as she have sex, then they kicking it. But all the 3 months that he's been pursuing her, he made her think that there was more than it really was. Anyway, I love you guys. I'll see you in the next video. Till next time, later divas and dudes. Deuces, honey.